Thanks, Kainde, for the warm introduction, and I can only reiterate what a fantastic and moving morning already. I always seem to have the hard task of following Jerry, but I am very privileged that I've been joined by another VIP today, June. So my name is Maxine. I'm the Influencing and Engagement Officer for About Dementia, and as I've mentioned, I work with truly amazing people and activists. Speaking of, I'd like to introduce you to June Anderson, who's a core member of About Dementia.
Thank you, Maxine. My name is June Anderson, and I am an unpaid carer for my husband, Jim, living with dementia. And I have to say, I'm very honoured and privileged to hear everything that's been going on because I'm a relatively new member to the group.
Fantastic, June, and thanks for joining us today. So firstly, I just want to ask, how did you hear about dementia and what made you want to get involved?
Well, I responded to an email sent from About Dementia, which interested me greatly. After hearing about the project, I got in touch and said I would be interested in attending a Zoom meeting, as I noticed About Dementia were keen to hear from people with lived-in experience. This made so much sense to me and of enormous priority.
Fantastic. And you mentioned before, earlier on in your journey, that you were feeling a wee bit lost and you just didn't know where to even start to perhaps have dementia information or meet peers.
Absolutely, Maxine. I was desperate for some information about dementia as it was new to us, as my husband Jim was diagnosed just at the start of the pandemic, and there was nothing being offered by any of the health service agencies as I would have expected. And I really had to fight for the diagnosis, which I kind of suspected, but unfortunately there was just nothing forthcoming. And when you need help and you don't know where to turn, it was really a true realization and enlightenment, almost like an epiphany for us.
Lovely. And when you first joined us, what was it like? Had you done anything like this before?
Yeah, yes, I had. I mean, I was anxious about having little knowledge about dementia, and when we spoke with each other, I was immediately treated with the most enormous humanity, grace, and understanding. About Dementia team who really listened with so much empathy and offered good suggestions. I had done similar stuff before, but mainly for fighting for other people's rights and trying to undo any inequality shown to people who are perhaps not able to do so themselves. However, whether it would have been for housing, such as homeless people or children with complex needs, where local government are perhaps intent on proving their decisions are correct and don't always listen to reason.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody knows June, they'll know that she's being modest because she's involved in a lot, a lot of different things going on. And as you said, mostly fighting for other people's rights. But I think you found yourself in a position where you weren't actually sure of your own rights as well and where to start. And it's often talking to peers, and it actually makes you realise maybe something has happened and that you can fight that. So you've been involved for around about 2 years now with About Dementia. Can you tell us what work you've been involved in?
Yes, yes, certainly. No, you're absolutely 100% correct, Maxine. You've got it in one, as they say. And I was so happy to be invited along to take place, or to take part rather, in some technology for unpaid carers of people living with dementia, and about the Dementia's 2021 manifesto. It interested me greatly, and great thanks to be involved in the independent review and consultation of social care in Scotland and the new National Care Service. Also, I was involved obviously in the Carers Working Group and the survey consultation, the self-directed support, and About Dementia policy drop-in. And we also had a very interesting conversation with the NCS consultation briefing and meeting with Kevin Stewart MSP. I've also been invited to help recruit new legacy roles, and as Age Scotland were recently announced as the third part of Life Changes Trust National. I've been helping to write job descriptions for communications officer and funding and evaluation officer, and assisting in job interviews of same with lived in experience panel. And Human Rights Act for unpaid carers. And as you said, Maxine, although I've been an unpaid carer, I wasn't always certain of the human rights involved in it. But the potential amendments that could be made to this act are so important, and being able to take part of that policy and practice forum has been really incredibly important to me about being able to influence plans and proposals of a series of components or steps which contribute and define problems. Ordinary people like me with lived in experience, which makes such good common sense and best practice.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like you've certainly been busy, June. So everything from subgroups based on policy areas, responding to government consultations, taking part in meetings directly with policymakers. It sounds like you've been involved with more than I have over the years. So that's just fantastic. And we certainly do value your expertise. Now, you've mentioned it a wee bit already, but I just wanted to ask, what has been part of a policy and practice forum meant for you? I know recently you've been chatting a wee bit more about feeling actually empowered to take your own steps as an activist.
Yeah, most definitely. And this help and advice has come from the team and from all the other volunteers that we've listened to this morning. The message that I would like to give to others interested in getting involved with about dementia is not to hesitate. It's been truly rewarding experience to be involved in community advocacy efforts to bring about change made possible by the most amazing team it has ever been my pleasure to work with. And I say that not being condescending, I say that sincerely. And I work with a lot of people on a voluntary basis, I have to say. But the qualities and the personal attributes and the listening skills of everybody involved in it and all the volunteers, and the integrity has been invaluable, and it's gone a long way to develop a healthy level of confidence and self-worth for me.
And the feeling's mutual, June. I know that we've developed a real friendship as well, and it's lovely just to be able to talk to each other and to draw on each other's wealth of experience. And I speak mostly for yourself there, so it's been a real privilege to work with you and to get to know you a wee bit better too. So thank you so much for your time,
Thank you,
honesty, and
Maxine.
continued support of the project. We really can't thank you enough. As always, it's been a privilege to chat to you, and I'll hand back to Myra, who's also a core member of About Dementia.